Hey Philip,
Buenas.
how you doing, dude?
All good. How about you?
Fantastic, as you can probably
I
get.
can only imagine.
And you must be pretty happy too, as well, right?
Yeah, it's a good start. It's a good start.
Good start. So it's very no one expected this, and that's what we see with the markets every time. You know, whatever no one expects, it's what it's gonna do.
Same old, same old. Same old, same old. Over the weekend, at least I personally witnessed the uh, first moments of FOMO again, you know, from the non-crypto people that I know.
You're getting texts saying, "Hey, what's that Bitcoin thing again?"
Yeah, something like that.
Fantastic.
Or, hey, I saw Bitcoin in the news again. Is it a good time to get in?
Yeah. That's funny. So yeah, Bitcoin is obviously very strong to the dollar right now. There's no denying that. A lot of
Very.
disbelief around though. We had people in the group literally bragging, like, yeah, I've sold everything at what, 7K, 7.2.
Probably a little before.
How many times do we have to tell them that trend is your friend?
It's the probably the most overused and cliched saying in the trading community,
I mean, it's so easy.
but and true.
Markets do two things. They go up and they go down.
One or
And
the other.
people held Bitcoin from 20K to 3K. It's a blatant downtrend. And then it starts going up and they sell. Like, are you insane? But that's how the markets get you, right? We obviously show them in the course the cycles and how emotions play on that, and they've been cooked so long at the bottom, and then 6K to 3K was a wreckage. No one expected that. And then as soon as it goes back up to 6, it's like a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I remember, because the 6K level held for nearly 9 months as support for 2018. And me personally as well, I thought it would be much harder to break through those levels, but markets are irrational.
In hindsight, it was a descending triangle, so it was so obvious.
Oh yeah, no, that yes. I mean now because I just
Oh
mean
yeah,
now,
yeah,
but
yeah. Oh sure. Yeah, I get you
but
now.
yeah, over time, if
You're
you
saying that
looked at the
horizontal support should have been resistance. That's what everyone expected. And I was saying,
that's
like, there can't be any value in it. It's too easy. Everyone wants to short 6K, so why it's not going to happen? How can there be any value in it if everyone wants to do something? Smart money is going to pump it and wreck shorts. Absolutely wreck shorts.
yeah, it really does seem to be that when you hear, an opinion being repeated over and over and over in regards to TA,
Yeah,
that you most likely don't want to bet your money on it.
definitely. The value has to be scarce. That's why 1% win and 99% lose. It's a zero-sum game.
Yep, hey, you stole the words right out of my mouth.
All the things that we keep saying. But yeah, you gotta keep it keeps us guessing. You've always got to find the value. You've always got to look where no one else is looking, and that's how markets work.
Yeah, and to be clear, for when it comes to trading itself, I think a lot of people look at the issue in a very black and white sort of way. Because at least to me personally, it's not about necessarily calling tops or bottoms. Obviously, if you can do this, congrats, very good,
But it's
but
so
that's
easy,
not what it's about.
isn't it? I mean, in hindsight, if you look at it, it's so easy to follow trends.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you pointed this out especially quite a lot in the group while it was being formed. Once we bottomed, at the time, no one could considered it to be the bottom, but, it was a massive ascending triangle.
Yeah.
And when it popped, it went and it hasn't come down since.
But yeah, and I just see so many people crying out for a pullback to 4K. Then it was 5K. Then it was 6K. And then it started to dip from 7, just dip below 7. And I said to a couple of people, this is the only dip you get. It's going to fly tomorrow. We actually had some stuff we had some geopolitical stuff last night. You probably didn't see it yet, but some Iranian oil tankers. There's no consensus on what's happened, but they've either been blown up, probably blown up. The media from there says that they were blown up, and then the media from here says that they were sabotaged. So, but anyway, geopolitically, I mean, it doesn't look good, between America and Iran, and that's why the market dropped, and that's why Bitcoin's pumping. No one's really talking about this. I was watching it till late last night. But,
very briefly. Not sure if it's my end or your end. You sound like you're very far away. Is there any chance that there's something you can do to fix it?
No, it should be okay. It should be okay, the microphone. Maybe it's just not. How about now?
No, a little better. No. Maybe it's just my end.
Let's try and speak up a little bit. Yeah, it could be your volume. Try turning your volume up.
It's all the way up.
Okay, then it's probably my microphone. It must be the settings. Let me see if I can change them.
No, actually, let me check on my end. Audio settings. No, all the way up. Okay, nothing I can do.
How about now?
Oh, much better. Much better.
The input volume of my microphone, it was on automatically adjust microphone settings. So I don't know.
Gotcha.
I just turned it off and turned it up. Okay, so yeah, there's some geopolitical stuff going on. Bullish for Bitcoin, and there's the China stuff as well. The way I see it, you've got lots of countries now looking at using Bitcoin because of US sanctions. You've got China, you've got Russia, you've got Iran, and these, they're not messing around. And there's a lot of use cases for Bitcoin worldwide. Venezuela.
Oh yeah.
Turkey.
You look at localbitcoins.com, and the volume has been up there.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of reasons to be bullish on BTC. And we've had some terrible news, and it didn't even budget. It went up. Binance gets hacked. If you'd have said to me before the Binance hack, right, Binance gets hacked tomorrow, what happens? I would have been like, nah, game over. 3K. And it didn't even move. Did not even move. And that just showed the strength. And then when we get good news, it's obviously flying. What are we at right now?
Should still be at around 7.8.
7.821. I mean, that's insane. No one predicted that.
Yeah, I've got the same thing.
So we thought, 6K, maybe 5.9. That was a key level. And then, hang on, why don't I share my screen? Can you see the chart?
Yep, looks good.
So yeah, I mean, the key levels we were looking at, this was a pretty obvious one around here. Yeah, it did react a little bit, but pumped straight through. Then we thought, well, this is going to be a big test, where we broke down from that kind of support, that ascending support. Didn't even react, just pumped straight through. And then the next one, the top of this old there. So after these resistances here, so yeah, it went up to about 7.5, came back down. That's now support. So we just blasted through all of these levels, no problem. Keeps going. It's parabolic. It's insane.
Yeah, definitely. And if you go on the smaller time frames, the hourly and just draw an uptrend, that's your short-term trend for now until that's broken. Don't be looking for a reversal.
Yeah, I mean, even without a trend line, we're looking at higher highs, higher lows. It's as simple as that. So this is the low point, okay? And this is the high. We've got a higher low here. Similar high, so let's call it an ascending triangle. Then we get the higher high. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then we just keep going like that. And that's an uptrend, guys. Look at the volume. It's insane. It's like this is a global average from CoinMarketCap. This is the highest volume in history. Look at that. It's like a half pipe. Just exploded. There is nothing stopping this train. There's nothing stopping it going parabolic like this again. It's amazing how it goes slow all the way, and then bam, like so much can happen in just a few days.
From that dip in November, more or less. No, a little further back. Yeah, slightly in November, you have a dip onto that final before the all-time high of 20K.
So we're talking around here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
How long from there till the all-time high?
Okay, so this tool, and although that's a scary dip, isn't it? People might have wanted to sell. It's still higher, low, higher, low. It's an uptrend. High, 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 low, low, low. So from there to the all-time high was 266% in a month.
Not
35
bad.
days.
Barely a month.
Yeah, 35 days.
Well, we'll see from a month from now if it's done the same thing, but the main point is, markets are irrational. As you said before, since most people were probably considering shorting at all those key levels,
Yeah.
they just went straight through and, just waited out. I think once, at some point, I think Bitcoin will have to correct. I don't know when. Certainly not now. Like I said, I'm just looking for a break of the trend if it happens. I think any of the altcoin buyers that do alts to BTC, they're going to have quite some buying opportunities there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I wanted to get on to alts in a bit. I mean, what I see with BTC now, we're in an uptrend. You've got these kind of mini parabolas here, and then just enough of a correction to shake people out, then it goes again, and the same again. So we'll probably see a pretty heavy correction, like these kind of ABC corrections that we see. But I'm not going to be shorting anytime soon. We're in an uptrend now, guys. If you've held on and now you're selling, then you're insane. So let's talk about alts now. I actually think the majority, if you look on Twitter, there's been Twitter polls that I've seen, from big accounts, and they've said like, what percentage of your portfolio is in alts? And you know what? It's been the majority of people are in, the majority of their portfolio is alts.
Really?
Yeah, and that's again like dumb money getting wrecked. So if we think about fractions, Bitcoin is in an uptrend to the dollar. Okay, that's simple. BTC USD, that's the fraction. We're now going up. So that's bullish for Bitcoin. Now with altcoins, let's look at one. This is a really good example. BTC.
Yeah, maybe you want to go on the daily.
Yeah, and where's my reset arrow? Okay, let's change time frame. There we go. So that is just the most blatant downtrend. There's textbook. You know, yeah, there's fluctuations, but you've got lower lows and lower highs. It's going down. And you've got guys sitting in things like this saying, oh, it's a good price. You know, they might have bought here because it was cheaper than it was here. And then maybe bought.
I've actually seen, to BitTorrent specifically, I've seen plenty of accounts on Twitter or enough TA at around the 15s, yeah, where you're at the 18, 17 Satoshi levels.
Yeah.
Of people saying it's a good price, time to get in.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, again, trend's your friend. So you can draw that in, you know, and this is why we teach risk management because, and I actually did a TA on this. Someone requested it and I said, look, it's in a downtrend, but if you want to go long, if you really want to go long, then remember your risk reward. You know, so let's say we want to buy at 18. You can target, I don't know which time frame you want to play it on. If you want to go up to 23 or you want to go up to maybe 28, but remember that risk reward, remember your stop loss. And you know what, if it goes below, you know, if it goes down to say 16, then you're out, that's it, game over. And you have to have that mindset or else you're just holding on now. You've lost 50% of your BTC and you're just wrecked. And there's no sign of a reversal. There's nothing stopping this. You know, when's it going to stop? So this is why trends are so damn important. BTC's flying and your BTC is evaporating. So it's about fractions. Alts right now are absolutely wrecked. Like they are trash to BTC. Now I see some guys looking at things like Ethereum USD and being like, yay, it's going up. Now, yes, okay, it's in an uptrend. Well, it's in a downtrend to BTC. So what do you want to be in? Do you want to be in Ethereum and making like 15% whilst BTC is absolutely mooning? Because with it being fractions, you have to be in the strongest denominator. So yeah, Ethereum might be going up. Bitcoin's dragging everything up to the dollar, but you also have to look against Bitcoin. So do you really want to be in Ethereum right now? You know, and I pointed this out to someone when they were saying, oh, Ethereum's a good buy right now. No, dude, it's made a lower high and another lower high. And it's just, you know, broken that support level, tested it as risen. It's a downtrend. So what do you want to be in right now? BTC or Ethereum? Simple maths. So yeah, altcoins buy opportunities potentially, but the way I see it, BTC dominance is absolutely on a rampage. If we go on here, BTC dominance. So 60% of the entire crypto market cap right now is Bitcoin. And, you know, it's not stopping. So this is in a clear uptrend as well. So do you want to be in alts or BTC? Because there are people in alts, which is the majority of crypto Twitter right now, their BTC is getting evaporated. And that's not nice. So what do you take on that?
In regards to the dominance, I'm curious about something. I mean, I do understand the metric, but the thing that I've never really paid that much attention to dominance, me personally, to Bitcoin, simply because altcoins can be created every day, any day, at any time for zero cost. So do you consider it to be a good metric to look at anyway? I mean, in dollar prices, I get it, but what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you get the odd shitcoin created, but it's not like there's going to be like billions of dollars of value just created out the blue each day.
No,
So
definitely.
long term, yes, of course, Bitcoin dominance is dropping. You know, if you go on the weekly chart, then okay, yeah, it's gone down. You know, this was an alt season here where there was a lot of shit coins created, a lot of speculation. I think it's a pretty good metric. You know, on shorter time frames, if you look on maybe the daily and look at the last few kind of weeks and months, I think it's a nice metric to see how everything's performing overall and to try and predict when we're going to get an alt season. Right now, BTC is strong as fuck, and you don't really want to be going balls deep on alts right now until this changes. You know, if it gets to a point where it's here, trend breaks, then perhaps alts might go on a little run. Maybe like here, this was a little alt season here.
That was the alt season, actually, a small one.
Yeah. So this is kind of sideways. You know, that this is what everyone was saying was alt. This is a mini alt season. This is like Ravencoin pumped, some shit coins went down, some good projects pumped during this time, but it's not like full-blown alt season like these here. So when BTC dominance drops from like 67% to 30%, you know, it's definitely alt season.
Yeah,
So,
that's huge.
that's what we're looking at there. But yeah, here, you know, I don't see BTC stopping anytime soon.
No, looks good there.
Trend is your friend. Are you gonna call? Look how many candles there are. You know, are you gonna try and call the top? Because say there's 50 candles, you got 1 in 50 chance of calling the top. And you know, people will be calling it this candle, and then this candle, and then this candle, and you're just gonna keep being wrong. That's why trend is your friend, right? You just look at the way it's going and you follow it. It's really simple. But we have ego, which makes us want to call tops and bottoms, and things like films like The Big Short. It's very, very glamorous to try and call the top on markets or the bottom on markets because it makes you a fucking genius and everyone thinks you're awesome. Whereas the money is made by following trends. That's my take on it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, if you can call the top or a bottom, great. But at the end of the day, most people just can't do that.
Yeah, and
they're better off just following the trend.
Exactly. If you want to do a knife catch with a Fibonacci level 61.8 with good risk reward and have a stop loss in place, fantastic. But if you're going to start buying shit coins right now because it's cheaper than it was a week ago, then you're insane.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I get the, you know, we teach also about having great risk reward management, you know, during our course.
Yeah.
But I think aside risk reward, you know, even if your risk reward is good, you still need to consider probabilities. So even if your risk reward is great, you want to ask yourself, well, what is now the actual chance that this is going to be a winning trade?
Yeah, that's right. And having a good risk reward is okay, but you still need to be right 50, 60% of the time.
Yep.
You've got to have the edge. You've got to have an edge. Following trends is an edge, for sure. So yeah, that's a very good point. Risk reward is very important. It's not gonna, you know, you're not gonna just get completely liquidated and taken out. But yeah, you do definitely have to have an edge. And we teach lots of edges in the course. So trend following and, you know, indicators can work if you have a reliable strategy with the right metrics. Fibonacci is great, but definitely got to have your risk reward in there. Cool. So anything else you want to talk about? We've covered BTC's rampage, alts, fractions, trends. Pretty good chat.
Let's look at some recent news. Backed recently announced, or I believe today announced that they're finally going to roll out futures.
I'm still trying to get my head around this. It's bullish as hell. I have a group. I've got some seriously smart guys in a group that I speak to daily. We're not talking normal guys. We're talking off the chain, like
completely off the chain.
Off the chain, geopolitics. You know, you name it, finance, markets, just stupidly intelligent. And you know, I struggle to keep up with some of the stuff they talk about. And we've been talking about the futures and ICE.
Yep.
You know that they own nearly every stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, etc. And I mean, let me just try and wonder if I can just share this chat without giving. No, I can't really. I'll give it the word identities. Um, but yeah, it's very bullish. I see. I just see it as bullish. Let's just put it that way, without getting too
Yeah,
technical and
absolutely.
confusing people.
Absolutely.
Um, think of the likes of gold. So gold is a commodity, and the price is controlled. You know, the markets are um, the price is controlled. You know, gold isn't crazily volatile. Uh, it's controlled, whichever
It's
way.
easier to control, I'd say, due to the massive derivatives markets.
Yeah, and CFTC will treat Bitcoin like a commodity, and they'll control the price. But at this price, no, it's not big enough. You know, it's when it gets to high tens of thousands per Bitcoin, maybe $100,000 per Bitcoin, CFTC will come in, and there you go. You've got borderless deflationary gold, and there's a lot of powerful people that want that.
Yeah.
So
In general, putting that aside, just in general, as price, because, one of the arguments that Bitcoin always gets a bad rep for cryptocurrency in general is the volatility. People say, or a lot of traders will say, it is too risky because of how volatile it is. But as the price increases and as market capital raises as well, then they'll become less volatile as well, at least in my opinion.
yeah, totally agree. And yeah, it's so true. I mean, yeah, people say that, oh, how can it be a payment system when it's so volatile? But if you look at the market cap, like it's so small, how do you expect it not to be volatile? Like Crypto Cobain on Twitter pumped it around. Do you remember that pump? Like just after Christmas, and he managed to break it out of like a key trend line with something like $3 or $4 or $5 million. It's nothing. And when you can move the market with that amount of capital, of course it's going to be volatile. But when it gets to a trillion market cap, then
Then
no,
things are different.
yeah, not even the banks can move it. You know, big swings of like 20%. You just can't do it because it needs, the bigger the market cap, the more capital it takes to move it per percentage. So yeah, I mean, we're in the right place at the right time. I have never been so bullish on BTC as the last couple of days. And that's not just because of the price. It's because of the stuff that's coming out. You know, the stuff that is actually happening. There's something just come out as well on Twitter that, you know, the likes of Starbucks, like the stuff we've been talking about for 2-3 years. Starbucks will be able to accept BTC, you know, and there's some like scanner thing with Gemini in the background.
Yep.
Like it's happening, it's actually happening. And yeah, it's just awesome. But there's a lot of people still in disbelief.
No, there will always be people in disbelief, I think.
Till it comes up and slaps them around the face. I've got a financial advisor friend actually that I have a lot of respect for, but he's still not off zero. And
Really? Okay.
yeah, he says it's a get rich quick scheme. He says that it's not regulated. And I'm like, dude, it's the best performing asset class in the last 10 years and you're ignoring it just because mainstream media tell you it's a fad. And
Yeah, I mean, you
and
don't have to go. I think it's irresponsible for, any financial advisor or, wealth manager to completely ignore it at this point.
I would agree, it's an asset class. And
Absolutely.
just
I mean, that
because
doesn't mean they need to, have 50% or God knows how much of their portfolio in it. 1% is enough, but it's up
I
to
would
them whether
be
to get off
disappointed
zero or
if
not.
I was one of his clients and I wanted exposure to this asset class, and he said, "Oh no, I don't believe in it," or "Oh, it's not regulated," or "Oh, it's just get rich quick. Put it into this ETF instead." And then in 5 years, Bitcoin's at 100K. I'm going to look back and think, fucking hell, he wasn't very good, was he?
Nope.
So I think there's a lot of traditional finance professionals that don't understand the space, that dismiss it because they don't understand it, and it really is a, it's negligence on their part. They're not doing their job if they don't understand this shit.
You're at least understanding it as well as they should be able to or can. I mean, Bitcoin, by itself is, of course, a very complex topic.
Very.
But, just knowing certain things about it at this point, it's almost a must know, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it takes some people 2 years of reading about Bitcoin before they have that light bulb moment where they think, this is huge. Or because I think it encompasses so many topics that people just takes a while to click. It's mathematics, it's physics, it's finance, it's technology, it's IT, it's philosophy, it's
monetary policy, monetary history,
governance, trust,
geopolitics. Oh yeah, definitely government.
Massively geopolitics. You have to understand the flow of capital, which countries are involved, understand tether, understand the likes of Puerto Rico and all the exchanges. Where is the capital flowing? How's it flowing in and out of which country? It's so complex. That's what I've gotten to most recently, really like getting into the nitty gritty of where is the money being transmitted to and from and stuff like that.
I remember a few years back when I myself still had quite a lot of difficulty to explain Bitcoin. And I remember I was explaining it to two older gentlemen. And when I tried to explain it to them, they thought that the way I had explained it, Bitcoin, that it was some kind of a game, just kind of a game currency.
It is a digital currency, but people don't get it. People say, "Oh, it's not real." I have money.
Then I explained to them, there are actual places, websites, exchanges where you can trade this. Real people trade it. It's like, at the time it wasn't much. I think it was 2-3 billion in market cap. And I told them it's already 2-3 billion in market cap. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, that's still nothing, but okay, 2-3 billion. I get it. There are people that trade this. Okay, cool.
It's funny because it's like the internet. People said the internet was rubbish. It'll never do anything. Emails aren't real. People want paper. People want to receive a letter in the post. Email's not real. People said this shit, and stuff gets digitized. MP3 will never replace CD. It's all the same. It's the same fractal digitization of everything. I threw away all my notepads the other day because I take notes on my laptop and on my phone, and it's all on the cloud.
I don't even know what a notepad is, dude.
Yeah, and it took me way too long. I find myself writing notes, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking retarded. I can have them like on my devices. So just get rid of everything paper. Cash is dead. Digital money is the future without a shadow of a doubt. And with globalization, why would you want currencies attached to borders? It doesn't make any sense.
It's also healthier if you think about it. You know how many germs you'll have on physical notes and
Yeah, true. It's very true. And then money laundering, of course. That's a big one. People say that Bitcoin's for money laundering. That is absolute bollocks. Bitcoin is
there was a time where I think 2013, maybe 2014, where maybe the majority of Bitcoin were used for money laundering, but that is definitely not the case today.
No. Well, people might still try. I have access to some seriously sophisticated forensics and analytics products.
Yeah, and people have a better understanding of the distributed ledger, also known as the blockchain.
Yeah.
And that's got to help against that as well.
Yeah. I can show you something cool right now. Just bear with me
Did
a sec.
you, just very briefly, since we're on that topic of money laundering, I read today that there was a new theory about Satoshi Nakamoto.
Okay.
Did you hear about this or no?
Oh yeah, the French guy. Yeah, I don't know. Take it with a pinch of salt. I think I stopped reading when it mentioned Craig Wright.
Yeah, I didn't look into the details of it, but something about, that the person that might have created Bitcoin he created it specifically for the purpose of money laundering. I personally don't buy it, but I thought it was an interesting theory.
Yeah, right. Let me show you something now. This is going to blow your minds. This is something pretty special that you've probably not seen before, and the viewers watching won't have seen either. Let me just share my screen.
Cool. Liebe gespannt.
If I go full screen, can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Sample transaction.
Yep. Wallet risk rating, high risk address. Has a risk rating of high risk since the proportion of tainted funds passing through its wallet is greater than 38% of all other addresses that also carry some amount of risk. Total funds received by address 0.046 BTC. Wallet has a balance of 0. Okay, so for the viewers, you want to explain exactly what it is they're looking at, or actually what I'm looking at.
Yeah, let me just okay, so what this is something called wallet score. Now, wallet score gives any business that wants to interact with crypto, whether it's accepting crypto or onboarding crypto customers, wallet score gives them the wallet score is a tool that allows them to put every single wallet address through the API, and it gives them a risk rating on these wallets. Okay, so in the middle here, I was just trying to get like a picture up, but can't seem to do it. Can you see my mouse?
Yep, I can see your mouse. What about the plus button at the top next to the 90%? The top, you were trying to zoom in, right?
No.
Oh, my bad.
Can you see it now, like an arrow?
Yep.
Uh, okay, I'm gonna draw on it. So this wallet here, this is the wallet in question. Okay. Now, on the actual tool, you can drag this around, so you can click one wallet and move it around. But basically, it shows you every transaction that this wallet has been in, in a transaction with, that it's ever interacted with. So you can see how many hops away it is from a scam or a theft or a dodgy exchange or a gambling site, anything that is potentially illegitimate. It shows you, the how far away it is, whether it's a direct transaction. So to simplify this, if I just go on to the next slide. Now, this technology has been used by the likes of the FBI, the IRS, Homeland Security, all of these serious three-letter agencies for the past 5 years. And so dodgy wallets from scams and thefts and, stolen funds or crime or dodgy exchanges with no KYC AML in place, these are all labeled by law enforcement. So if we go back, if you're one hop from a wallet that is a known thief or scammer, then your risk rating is going to be very, very high on the wallet, and it will flag up on the API, and then the exchange has to make a decision, say whether or not they want to deal with that customer.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty.
Wow.
This is pretty exciting technology. Well, exciting for who?
Very. I have a brief question on
Yeah.
that note that you just said. You said the wallet. Is it the wallet itself or the address?
So
I would have thought it
very
was the
question.
address, but
Now, what Wallet Score can do is Wallet Score can actually identify clusters of addresses. So yeah, it's the address, but it can cluster them. So it knows that if multiple addresses are like the same person,
yep, gotcha.
if that makes sense.
No,
Now, they don't know names of people. They know the wallets and the addresses. So they can't say like, oh, that wallet belongs to James McDowell. And unless it's potential.
unless the wallet or the address is somehow connected to your name, there's still no way of. It's still pseudonymous, essentially.
Exactly. But this is all leading on to my next thing. So when we were talking about money laundering, did you hear about the NEM hack? So $500 million
Mm-hmm.
was lost in this NEM hack. Someone stole $500 million worth of XEM. And these guys managed to track the stolen funds. Now look at the detail of this. Like, look how many transactions there were as they tried to split these funds up. So they've gone like into all of these wallets and then gone into all of these, gone through mixers and tumblers and all sorts. Like, how can we get this money? How can we hide it? How can we get it away? And Blockseer, a company that developed Wallet Score, actually managed to track. There's over $250 million sat here in these two wallets, and they have alerted the Japanese law enforcement, and they basically say, that there's the money, guys. If that moves, you've got the hackers. So when people say Bitcoin's for money laundering, that is absolute crap. Like, imagine this for cash. Cash is for money laundering.
Oh,
BTC
absolutely.
BTC is completely traceable. And
Yep.
there's absolutely no hiding anything with BTC.
This is really cool. I mean, I already figured a while ago that companies by now have developed these kinds of methods, but it's my first time actually seeing an example like this.
Yeah, and you didn't know the FBI were in this shit for 5 years either, did you?
I actually figured that, yeah. I actually figured that.
Yeah, probably.
And I had already heard that the IRS and some authorities were already doing things similar like this, but still, seeing the actual example is pretty dope, pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. It's interesting stuff. The guys that develop these tools, Danny Yang is Stanford PhD and Harvard in data science and artificial intelligence. And then Tim Eller, he's the guy that invented the surge price algorithms for Lyft and Uber. So at busy times when the price goes up for your Uber, that's all done by an artificial intelligence algorithm that Tim developed. So, you've got seriously smart guys developing this stuff.
Yeah, very. Well, that would be an understatement, I think.
Yeah, so I thought I'd show you that. It's very cool.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Awesome. So anything else you want to talk about?
Don't think anything else specifically comes to mind.
Binance hack.
Binance hack.
No, I can't say too much. Not on here, man. I can't. Let's just say
I don't know. I didn't think the Binance hack was that big of a deal as everyone made it out to be.
Well, it's what 7,000 BTCs, $42 million.
Yeah,
They make
about 40
in a couple
million.
of weeks. It's nothing.
I think from my point of view personally, I think Binance got more of a bad rep when CZ brought up the idea of a potential block reorg on Bitcoin. I think that from my point of view, I think that gave them more of a bad rep than the actual hack itself.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit. The transparency seemed to be good, apart from when they first came out and said, "Oh, sorry, we've got to do unscheduled server maintenance. We've disabled deposits and withdrawals." And then it came out that it was like a hack. So I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to badmouth or slander Binance. Some people say that it's there's more to it than meets the eye. But anyway, my theory for the market with regards to the Binance hack: deposits and withdrawals have been disabled for a week. BTC is pumping like crazy. Alts are getting absolutely wrecked.
I see where you're going with this.
What happens when they reopen deposits and withdrawals? Do people think, oh my God, alts are so cheap right now? They're at all-time lows, or they're coming to supports. Do they bang all their BTC into Binance and do alts reverse and we get alt season? Or because people are going to want to take profits, but everyone's addicted to crypto. They're not going to go into fiat. They're probably not going to go into Tether. So where's the capital going to flow next? I think we do get alt season eventually, but I'm not, trend is your friend and we're still in the downtrend.
Absolutely. But on the, I like the idea, but of course, most people probably aren't going to know this. I'm not even sure if it's true, but if you have your deposit addresses on file, like yourself personally, let's just say in a note or something, and you send crypto to that address, you should still be getting your funds. I'm not sure if it would still appear in your account, but when they say that deposit and withdrawals are, removed, then just looks like the deposit and withdrawal button is removed.
Sure. And I did actually see that. I mean, you can't halt the chain, right? So
Exactly.
okay, that's very, very, most people don't even think about that. I didn't think about that. It seems obvious now. I feel stupid, but
because you can't stop the on-chain transactions.
Sure. How many people actually know their addresses?
Probably not that many.
I wonder if the deposit and withdrawal buttons are gone, but also the addresses are like grayed out. I don't know. Maybe I'll go into Binance.
But if there's no deposit button to click on, then you're not going to be able to see your address to begin with.
Okay, so I mean, I like your way of thinking about the addresses, but maybe some exchanges and some wallets save previous addresses. So, but I know there was a huge transaction that went into Binance. It was actually a TRX transaction because someone tweeted in a reply to CZ's tweet that said deposits and withdrawals are halted, and then it was a picture of a transaction, a very large transaction of TRX, and the caption was, "Unless you're Justin Sun, lol." So and this was, and I was like, what? Like, have they allowed this transaction? But now that's stupid. You can't just halt the chain. So someone obviously knew their address there.
Probably. And that's what I would consider to be the case.
Fuck. Okay, I can't get into my Binance account. Oh, I can now. I thought I'd been hacked. Not that I keep it.
No,
Yeah, that's funny, and that makes me so glad that I don't keep big amounts of money on exchanges. Or
and you're
else
never
I'd have a
supposed to
heart
keep.
attack every time something like that happened.
Yeah, you're never supposed to keep huge funds on an exchange. Not your
No,
not your coins. It's
no
the way it
way.
is.
No, I'm in and I haven't been hacked. That's great. So let's go into funds and pretend I want to make a deposit. I'm not going to share my screen because there's sensitive
Of course not. Of
metadata.
course not.
Uh, yeah, no, it's just there's just nothing there. It just says suspend, and there's a big red box. No addresses, no previous addresses, nothing. So yeah, I mean, like 0.1% of customers might have an address or think of, oh, that address will be saved in a wallet I've transferred there before. That's a good point. But why would they disable deposits and withdrawals for a whole week? I just think it's dodgy. I just think there's something more to it than meets the eye.
Well, for the funds that were stolen, they needed to have gone. The hackers needed to have gone through, their security measures as well. I mean, for the people that actually had their actual funds stolen, I can't imagine that they didn't have 2FA or perhaps address whitelist set up. And if they did, then the hackers needed to have gotten past that as well. And if they did, then it would make sense that deposits and withdrawals are put on hold from that perspective alone.
Potentially, yeah. Maybe they need to check. Maybe it's all above board. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's actually happened, and they need a week to actually figure out what's happened and fix it. I'm just very skeptical. Think everything's like a scam or a lie.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'll stop that. Let's just say that. Yeah. Okay.
No, I'd say, let's get back to the market. Like you said, for now, trend is your friend. Bitcoin at the moment is not showing any signs of reversal.
Nope. Would you buy
I
now?
think come again?
Would you buy now?
Dude, I bought a while ago.
Yeah, but if your friend from school texts you right now and says, "Hey, dude, is it a good time to buy BTC?" What do you say?
I'd say look at a chart. I'd say look at a chart and decide yourself.
I would be inclined to say no, let it settle down, but I probably would have said that at like 6.5 as well, and now I look like an idiot.
Like I said, it's the reason why I say it like that is because everyone has different goals and looks at things differently.
Yeah,
So if I'm talking to someone and I know that they want to invest long term and they want to hold it for a few years, then yeah, sure, buy now.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, and we teach this in the course. Timing matters, risk reward matters, targets matter. Risk reward is basically where you take in your stop loss and you take profit into account. So yeah, I mean, it's a very arbitrary question. Do I buy now? Well, are you going to sell tomorrow? Are you going to sell in a week? Do you want 10%? Do you want to make 10x? Where's your stop loss going to be? So yeah, I mean, it's a tough question. My answer to them would be learn to trade. Or
For me, it's either learn to trade, or what I've been saying for most of the time during the bear market is, try to dollar cost average in when there is blood on the streets, essentially, when most people have capitulated, when they're in a depression, and when most people are, go on social media and say, I'm out of crypto, screw this, F this.
Yeah.
That's when I was telling people, well, when you start saying those kinds of things, then you should start dollar cost averaging in.
It's amazing how many people have capitulated. I went to Malta a couple of times last year, 3 times, for events and to meet the government and stuff. And made some good friends, some cool people there. And I'm going back end of this month because there's a big. It's the biggest event of the year so far in the world. It's like 4,000 or 5,000 people there from all over the world. The Malta Blockchain Summit, and I've got back in touch with a lot of the people I met last year, and then they're not even in crypto anymore. They're like doing other shit, and I'm like, wow, like you must have sold up, capitulated at 3-4K, and now it's mooning, and you're not even in the game.
The markets will remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent.
Yeah. And it's a shame, there's people, like, we're talking co-founders of exchanges and like guys that own businesses in the space. Malta's a bit like that, they were a little bit, it was a lot of spectators, a lot of guys that got in around like 16, 17K. And, they've just been shaken out so hard. And now they don't even want to touch it again. If you get burnt, you're not going to go play with fire again, are you? So, for most people. So it's interesting to see that capitulation. Very interesting. All the guys I thought like, yeah, he's OG, he'll definitely still be in. Not even in. They're like renting out boats on the beach. I'm like, fuck.
Wow.
So,
impressive.
Yeah, crazy. But that's markets. I think we did need that. We needed that shakeout. There was a lot of crap around. We definitely needed that shakeout.
In general, I think that, as we said before, crypto is very volatile, right? But also because it's volatile, and I think in today's day and age, as information moves faster,
Yeah.
That's one reason I think why we're actually able to witness an entire market cycle in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
For most people, that's probably crazy. I mean, when you look at gold, the last time gold was in a parabolic uptrend, so to say, it was in a 10-year bull market.
Yeah.
And I believe it was towards the end of 2011 when it hit its peak. I'm pretty back then, gold bugs were saying, it's going to go to 2K. It's going to keep going. This is the time to buy. And we're still correcting.
Yeah. And I see that as markets are fractal. Markets are humans.
Yep.
Price
Human
action,
emotions mapped out on a chart.
yeah, exactly. But price action is just people. It's just emotions. But everything's faster now. If you look at our generation, if I wanna find something out, I'm like bang, straight on Google. I've got the answer within seconds. And in just one generation ago, the gold bug generation, Jesus, they might have had to like go out and buy an encyclopedia and look it up.
Yeah, probably.
Literally one generation ago, if you wanted to know like a specific like niche piece of information, you're either going to the bookshelf or you're going to the library. It's going to take between 10 minutes and an hour to find out something, whereas now it's like less than 10 seconds.
Pretty much.
So everything is faster. People make decisions faster, and that shows in the markets for sure. It's a different time. Gold bugs very, very patient. They're still hodling, hoping for a reversal. Just like the guys in BTC huddled for a reversal from 20K down to 3K.
If they're still hodling, congrats to them. But I'm not sure. I really am doubting, the amount of people that hodled that long, whether they actually sold or if they still held. I doubt that most of them held. I mean, I think that's kind of an issue that's also painted as very black and white on CT, on crypto Twitter. I see a lot of traders get a bad rep, and I kind of understand that, but from the hodlers. But I think entry and timing matters. If you bought Bitcoin at less than 1K and you've hodled this whole time, it's going to be much easier for you mentally to hodl even throughout this whole bear market than someone who bought at 20K.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but still, man, you can't underestimate the power of trading.
Oh, no, you can't.
If you're a good analyst, you wipe the floor with most of the market.
You know, the thing, and the great thing is, you know, I mean, we focus on crypto specifically for the most part, especially in our group, but what we teach in our course, you know, and we have students that you know, have come back to us and have told us as well that they're now also in other markets and will trade other markets, because at the end of the day, technical analysis can be applied to any market, to any time frame.
That's great. I had a guy in there the other day, Mark. He's done the course and he was he shorted the Uber IPO.
Yeah, I saw
The
that.
guy
Nice.
made 30%. That's a great trade. I love to see that.
Yeah.
When we see other guys, I mean, yourself, you came from a Forex background.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, I love to see the guys come back like, oh yeah, I've just, I just made 25% on Tesla or just shorted GBP USD. I love to see that shit because it's like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about another applying it to other markets. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also the gratifying experience as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we've produced some good traders. It's nice to see them stick at it.
Definitely.
Cool, right, buddy. It's late here. I'm gonna hop off, I think.
Okay,
But
cool.
great to chat. These are always the best when we just do it off the cuff and just chat shit and just record it. So we'll post this
Yeah,
in the group
cool.
for everyone to look. And yeah, we'll do it again soon. Keep up the good work with the TA. Great to see the TA in the group. The group's buzzing now with this.
Yeah.
A lot of people come in now. You know, people sharing stuff. People coming in from other groups. People coming over from Twitter. Really, really good
Yeah,
app.
it's cool to see the high amount of engagement right now. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
definitely. Awesome. All right, bro. Keep up the good work, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Definitely. Talk to you soon, man.
Yeah.